Hello everyone, this is Simon, your host for the Modern Awakened Perspective, your map for the path to enlightenment. And today I just have a quick update for a story I did yesterday in my home state of Kentucky, involving some students wearing Make America Great Again hats from the Covington Catholic School, and a confrontation with a Native American Vietnam War veteran named Nathan Phillips. Now, this update is a little crazy, and I was skeptical in my previous video, if you saw that, about what had actually occurred. And now as the story is getting more and more attention, the truth is starting to come out. And of course, the original version was fake news. It's almost unbelievable how fake it was, and how things are totally inaccurate as they were reported. So let me get into my update here and kind of give you my perspective on how things have changed. So as it turns out, these students were being harassed by another group of people go by the name of Black Hebrew Israelites. And this was a group of older folks, I believe, and they were spewing all kinds of hatred, racist and homophobic remarks directed at these kids for what seemed like, from the video, from an hour or two. And they were just, constantly bombarded by this kind of horrific, just horrible words and horrible stuff directed at them. And then the guy Nathan Phillips, the Native American, and his group forced their way in towards the students. And in the beginning, the students thought that maybe he was on their side, and joined in with the chant that they were doing in solidarity. But as it turns out, then it didn't turn out that he was on their side, and some of the students were confused as far as what was even happening. And basically, some of the people in the Native American group also started joining with the negative and really hatred that was being directed towards the students, telling them to go back to Europe, and that you're the next school shooter, and basically just they were being double teamed then by the Black Hebrew Israelites and the group of Native Americans. So despite all of that, the students did nothing to antagonize any of these people. Now, Mr. Phillips had said that he was trying to intervene because these students were going to go attack the Black Hebrew Israelites, and that he felt like he was putting himself in the middle between a predator and their prey. But video has emerged from multiple sources showing that none of this is accurate. None from the first day, and none of the accounts from the Native American group, led by Mr. Nathan Phillips, who has a history of doing this same kind of thing to other people for whatever agenda he's trying to push. He also said that the students were chanting, "Build the wall, build the wall," and none of this at all is accurate. This even comes from footage filmed by the group of Black Hebrew Israelites themselves. So whatever agenda is being pushed here, and whatever they're trying to prove, they're trying to really put a horrible slant on these kids who are really doing nothing at all. The only thing they did was to join in and to chant some of their own school spirit cheers, just because they, didn't know what else to do or how to respond. And this whole thing has really been blown out of proportion. There's been all kinds of people making threats against these students, and of course it's all based on an unfounded account and fake news and a fake story pushed by the media. And there's been threats on these kids' lives, threats against their school, even people who work for CNN threatening to punch the kids in the face. They're fantasizing about punching the kids in the face. People in Hollywood threaten to, stick them in a wood chipper. It's just ridiculous. A DJ from Hollywood was tweeted about coming and burning the school down with the kids in there. But of course, none of them have been asked to apologize or anything like that. It's just so ridiculous and one-sided that it's almost hard to believe that any of this is true. And again, this is in my home state, so I took a much bigger look at this and try to figure out what exactly is going on. Clearly, in my first video where I addressed this, I was skeptical about this scenario playing out the way they had said. I'm always skeptical of any mainstream media source. They always have some underlying agenda and they're pushing propaganda. And this time it's clearly evident that what's not evident is what their agenda is, but clearly they're trying to slander these kids, probably because they were organized and all wearing Make America Great Again hats, and because they support Trump and his cabinet or whatever, all of his policies, that they're trying to make these kids look bad and paint a picture that all Trump supporters are troublemakers or whatever. But I guess they didn't account for the video that emerged showing that all the stories that were pushed originally are totally false and inaccurate. And if you dig deeper into the history of the Native American leader Nathan Phillips, you see he's led protests out in front of the Trump Tower. He's tried to play the same exact sort of game against some fraternity guys, I guess, last year or within the last couple years. So he has a history of doing these kind of things. So his credibility was shot a long time ago. And so it shows you the level of reporting that was done, that this story even made it as far as it did and was pushed into mainstream. If anybody had just done a little bit of research, they would have shown that Mr. Phillips was clearly biased and was not, his word couldn't be taken at face value. So I'm sure there's going to be more about this story. It seems to be growing and gaining attention. I'm just happy that the truth is finally coming out, and hopefully there'll be more truth revealed and these kids will have a chance to tell their own story. They've never changed their story. It's remained the same, and it's being backed up by the video taken, and it corroborates everything that they've said and totally discounts everything said by Phillips. Again, these kids were being harassed, called all kinds of names, being bullied, being provoked, and they did nothing but be respectful to everyone, even in the face of all of that. So I'd like to commend them for their resiliency and their discipline. So make America great again. That's all I can say. Don't anyone be afraid to stand up for that, because that's what we need, and together we can make it happen. All right. Thanks again. Please like and subscribe if you like this. Leave comments down below if you like. If you don't like, whatever. Let's get a conversation started. Thank you. See you next one.